What really changed my life, man, was I got in Amway when I was about 24. They introduced me to self-help books. And I read 2 books that changed my life. It was The Power of Positive Thinking and The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. But The Magic of Thinking Big was huge for me. It just taught me one simple principle. It don't cost no more energy to think big than it does small. So if the Bible is true, which it says a man is as he thinketh, if you think poor thoughts, you got to be poor. The moment you change that thought, you start the process to becoming wealthy or rich. I mean, it's really how it works. People complicate it, but the Bible's pretty plain. All you got to do is believe it's talking to you. That I come to give you life and give you life more abundantly. You don't think he talking to you? You ain't got to be rich to have an abundant life. Sometimes you just need to be healthy, happy. You don't need a few million. I did, but to be honest, it didn't make me happy. It really didn't. Need God to be happy. I'm just telling y'all from a hood perspective what I did to get here. If you don't believe me, you ain't got to. But I made it.
We wonder why we don't have any strength, why we can't get ahead. It's because our thoughts are limiting us. You can't think defeat and have victory. Your life is going to follow your thoughts. You need to think power thoughts. Victory starts in our mind. Breakthroughs, new levels, depends on our thinking. I'm worried about my finances. I'm stressed over my children. That's drawing in more negativity. You'll be amazed at what will happen if you'll start thinking power thoughts. You'll feel strength rising up, courage, determination. Proverbs 4 says, "Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life." Are you thinking power thoughts, well-able thoughts, or are you thinking defeated thoughts? You're choosing which direction your life is going to go. Don't just think any thought that comes to mind. If it's negative, fearful, don't give it the time of day. Thoughts whisper, nothing good is in your future. If you dwell on that, you'll miss your destiny. When you're in tough times, the enemy will work overtime trying to convince you that the problem is too big. He knows if he can keep you defeated in your thoughts, then he can keep you defeated in your life. When thoughts tell you it's never going to change, instead of thinking those weak thoughts, turn it around. Yes, this problem is big, but I've been armed with strength for every battle. What God started in my life, he's going to finish. But if you're believing these lies that it's too much, then you're going to feel overwhelmed and you'll get stuck where you are. This is what happened to the Israelites. Moses sent 12 men to spy out the promised land. 10 came back and said, "Moses, we'll never defeat them. They look like giants. We don't have a chance." God had already promised them the victory. But notice what they were thinking. Weak, limiting, fearful thoughts. Joshua and Caleb came back with a different report. Yes, the people are big, but we know our God is bigger. Joshua and Caleb weren't any bigger than the other spies. The only difference was their thinking. 10 men infected the rest of the people. They ended up wandering in the desert for 40 years. Don't get infected and miss your destiny. Like the Israelites, God has already promised you the victory. It may be tough now, but keep the right perspective. Victory is in your future. Abundance, freedom is coming your way. I'm asking you to be a Joshua. Think can-do thoughts. Think victory thoughts. Look at how big your God is. That obstacle is no match for him. When you believe, all things are possible. Get your thoughts going in the right direction. You're not fighting this battle on your own. You have the most powerful force in the universe fighting for you, keeping that sickness from taking you out, moving the wrong people out of the way. I will overcome this obstacle. I will rise out of lack and struggle. When you think like that, the creator of the universe goes to work. It's significant that the 10 spies were negative and 2 were positive. 80% of people will be negative, 20% will be positive. You can't just fit in and be afraid like everyone else, be negative like that neighbor. God is looking for some Joshuas, people that stand out, people that aren't discouraged by how big the opposition is. Negative thinking is contagious. All around us, there's negative news. Analysts telling us what could happen, how it may get much worse. It's good to be informed, but you can't let that poison stay in your spirit. Isaiah 8 says, "Do not think like everyone else. Do not fear anything except the Lord God Almighty." You don't have to fear the virus, fear the future. Just keep honoring God and He will keep you safe. He'll do what medicine can't do. He'll turn that child around. When the majority is afraid, negative, you have to be on the offensive and say, "No, I'm not falling into that trap. I'm going to think power thoughts." I was out riding my bike the other day, and most of the route is flat, but there's this one very big hill. I like to exercise, enjoy the challenge, but this particular day I was tired. About 10 minutes into my ride, I started thinking, I don't want to go up that hill. I don't want to have to push, wondering if I could make it up it. At one point, I received a phone call. I started talking as I was riding. About 20 minutes later, I hung up. I thought, okay, I don't want to go up that hill. When I looked around, I realized I had already gone up the hill. But because I was distracted, not convincing myself that I couldn't do it, I made it up the hill with no problem. I didn't feel any more tired. I don't even remember going up it. I wonder how many times we're telling ourselves what we can't do. We're dreading things, thinking these weak, defeating thoughts, when the truth is you have already been equipped to handle it. When God created you, He put in you everything you need to fulfill your destiny. When you get to that hill, you're going to discover, like I did, it's going to be easier than you thought. Every morning when you wake up, you need to power up. This is going to be a good day. I am strong. I am confident. I have the favor of God. I'm excited about my future.
Listen, getting successful, whatever you consider successful, if it's rich, whatever, it's not a magic trick.
Your greatest victories, your greatest failures, but nevertheless, you must rise above it and you must conquer every obstacle that comes your way.
The same reason that people stay in relationships where they're abused or they're unhappy or it's unfulfilling. They can't see themselves beyond that relationship. They can't see themselves enjoying life without that person. They think that this is all that they can do.
You have a say-so in that. You can decide to be rich, and with God's help, it's highly doable. But you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. I'm no better than none of y'all. I'm not a better person than you. I'm not a better Christian than you. God don't love me more than you. None of that. If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change. Listen to me. It's not what makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. The fact of it is, though, it's very doable. See, but you got to change, though.
Are you strong enough? Are you willing enough? Do you have what it takes to do what's necessary to adapt and overcome? This is the moment that every living person that is at the start line is ready to cross the finish line. Along this journey, you will be pushed. You will be knocked down, but you don't stay down. You must rise up You must carry on. You must dig deep. You must fight forward. You fight to the end. If you feel weak, find a way to rise up. If you feel you can't carry on, then you must find another way to push on. If you get knocked down, then you crawl. If you can't crawl, then you roll. You don't stop. You push up. You go forward. You work hard. You keep going.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours alone. It's two people born in a hospital every day. It's a person that's born in a hospital that's going to get a job, and somebody born in a hospital that's going to give them a job. You get to decide which one you're going to be. You get to decide.
Weakness is not your profession. Giving up is not your profession. Doubting yourself is not your profession. Fear is not your profession. Not finishing what you start is not your profession. Your true profession is to seek your greatness, because your greatness is within you. Tomorrow is not your friend. Yesterday has nothing to do with your possibilities now. Focus on what is necessary and get the job done what's in front of you. At this moment, right here, right now, that is all that matters. This is what you must do.
The same reason that people get stuck at a certain level in life. They can't see things being better for them. And they think that this is it and this is all they deserve. This is all they've ever seen. It's been passed on to them. And they think that this is it for them. Oh, no. I was looking what Dr. Blanton, Smiley Blanton, who is a colleague of Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, what he said about fear. He said, fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear put people in the hospital. Fear can age you. Fear, ladies and gentlemen, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you. And it seemed like you're in a hypnotic spell.
Real, so you watch it on TV so you can get inspired. And so Warren Buffett, everybody's sitting down, Warren Buffett walks in the room, and when Warren Buffett walks in the room, it blows my mind. I'm like, yo, this dude is human. I'm like, I've been seeing him all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you see celebrities, they always photoshopped. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you see celebrities, it's like Oprah hair always intact on the thing. I ain't never seen Oprah hair out of tack on one of the, like her magazine. She come on TV, got the everything. Warren Buffett walked in, he wasn't on TV. He wasn't Photoshopped. He was human. No, I'm saying he was human. You could see like the skin color, you know what I'm saying? The blemish, like you could see it. He came in, he didn't have on a Pat Riley suit. Like he didn't come in with an Italian suit on. He came in with like a normal, I'm like, that's a normal suit. I'm like, that's Sears and Roebuck. I know Sears and Roebuck. That's a Sears and Roebuck suit.
And I ask you a question, what is the benefit? What's the benefit of allowing fear to hold you back? What's the benefit of giving up on yourself, of not stepping out on life and taking life on? What is the benefit for you? What's the plus in that? It's one of the things I had to ask myself. So I didn't want to make any mistakes. I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted to be perfect the first time I did something. It's not going to happen. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to hurt some folks' feelings. You're going to create some enemies whenever you decide that you want to begin to take life on. You've got to ask yourself, how long am I going to allow this to hold me back? I like what Zig Ziglar says. He said, fear is false evidence appearing real. That is an illusion that we create in our mind. It is a state of mind that can be changed.
You know what's so crazy? He could wear a Sears and Roebuck suit because he was already one of the richest men in the world. He didn't have to come in and impress nobody. He didn't have to come in and prove that he was rich because we know he's rich. I'm like, what an amazing feeling. Like you can be your authentic self. Like Warren Buffett didn't have to come in because some other guys came in and they had their suits that he didn't have on. And they had the $1 million watches that he didn't have on. And they had the shoes that he wasn't wearing. Come on. This was Warren Buffett. Like I saw his shoes. I'm like, yo, you can get those at Macy's. I'm looking at my man like, them some Macy's shoes, right? Those not even like Gator, like you got to get them imported from Italy. I was like, matter of fact, I've seen those exact shoes at Macy's. He had a normal tie on. He didn't have it all the way up. He didn't have a Pat Riley cut. It was just a normal button up. And one of them was buttoned, one wasn't. And he came in the room and he's not GQ. So he wasn't trying to act like he came in to give financial advice.
Conception does not guarantee manifestation. And what I mean by that is bird and a fish created by God. The fish was created to do what? Swim. So fish do not attend swimming lessons. I know it sounds simple, but it's very important. Why? Because swim is built into the fish. Why? Because God demanded the fish to swim. So he put the ability in it. Birds were designed by God to fly. So birds don't attend flight school. Flight is built in. I like this one. Seeds. Seeds were designed by the Creator to bring forth trees. You'll never find a seed attending a tree growing convention to learn how to grow trees. Why? Where's the tree? Trapped on the inside. In other words, whatever God created something to do, he built it in. Your culture and your educational system doesn't allow you to discover that. We are educated to be employed, not to be deployed. Seeds deploy themselves and become trees. Fish deploy themselves and they swim. Birds deploy themselves and they fly. We are the only creatures God created who don't deploy ourselves because our culture doesn't allow it. Gotta get free from the culture. And it's seminars like this that make you begin to have a meeting with yourself, discuss yourself with yourself, and say to yourself, self, am I who I really am? Here's my conviction. This is why I believe that buried in every human being is a leader, trapped by an erroneous philosophy that you were born to follow. Let us make man to have what? Dominion. To govern, to rule, to lead, control. Which means that somewhere inside of you is a ruler, a controller, a leader, a dominator. Somewhere in there. Because he would not have demanded it if he didn't inject it. Which means that your ability is determined by your responsibility. Your potential is designed by your purpose. Your potential is equal to what you were born to do. The best example I can give you is this car. Look at this car. All cars have what they call a speedometer. Am I right? Well, here's an old one, old Chevy. Now, if you look at the numbers have to 160 miles per hour this car can travel. All of your cars have that kind of registration, sometimes 200, 180. Everybody got that, right? Okay. Now, when you bought the car, that was on the car. You bought the car with it. It was on it, 180 miles per hour. I'm getting ready to go. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay, so you bought this car, brought it home, and the manufacturer says this car can travel 180 miles per hour. How can the manufacturer put that on there? What makes him so sure that this vehicle could travel 180? That's the first question. The second question is, have you ever traveled 180 in that car? No. Let me tell you how stupid our philosophy of our countries are. We sell a car that could travel 180 and put a sign up 50 miles per hour. It's amazing. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I have no idea how they got this idea. I don't know where it comes from. But it tells you the nature of your culture. Don't buy it. They give the company permission to build the capacity, but restricts your ability to use it. And you never thought about that. And that's the way they think about you. So all your life, you can make 180. But you've been traveling for 50 years at 60 miles per hour, and you think you're living. The capacity is present. Our culture says you can't go any further. And God says, press the accelerator. And your culture says you can't go any further. You can go no faster. You got to make a decision tonight, see?
I love my mother, but I'm not giving my mother control over my life. My mom got control of her life. She don't get to have control. Somebody missed what I said. My mom don't have the right to tell me what to do with my life. My mom trained me, and I'm on my own now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So number two two, you got to get this. The only way you're going to get to where God would have you to go is to have control, because God has given you the freedom of choice and he ain't gonna make you do nothing. So number two, I need you to take the control back so you can get what God has for you. Now here's the third thing, and we're gonna get to the message that God told me to tell you. God told me to tell you to stop making plates for people who just trying to take it to go. Write that down. So God told me to tell you, stop making food for folks that just wanted to go plate. He told me to tell you that there's somebody in the room, your life is screwed up because you making food for people who just wanted to go plate. You are a great good person. You phenomenal. You got it going on. You making all these great meals, and it's a whole bunch of people coming to your house. And listen to me very closely. My grandma taught me when I was young. My grandma had 14 kids who all had kids. And my grandma said, I will cut you. You can eat as much food as you want at the house. But if I swear if one of y'all little jokers take some out this house, you get in the business in front of your mama. In front of your, because I used to whip their butt. I'm whipping your butt too. With a switch. Don't take no food out of my house. You can eat as much as you want when you here, but do not pack a plate. And most of y'all running with people who, when you fix food, they come to your house and take it to go plate. They don't bring nothing. They not trying to help you. All they in your life to do is take. And you wondering why your life messed up, because you with takers. You done made a whole spread, and they just coming in. They can't even say, they don't have the decency to say hi and thank you. You so ignorant though. You just so geeked to have them coming and so-and-so came to my house. I'm so glad they came over. Listen to me. I promise you there's some other folks who cooking or who would bring at least something to drink and some cups that would love to come to your house. You ain't got to put up with that mess. And so in 2019, God told me to tell you, your life gonna go to a whole nother level if you just get rid of folks who bring it in to go container. You already know who they are too. As soon as I said it, you already knew who you like to see. They'll never bring that. You didn't even notice at first until it came in the atmosphere. Then all of a sudden you was like, you're right. They always taking. And I tell my babies all the time, it ain't nothing wrong with helping, but you can't help when you ain't got nothing. You got to have something first before you can help somebody. I couldn't do this if I was broke. The plane tickets cost money. The hotel I'm staying at in Buckhead costs money. I couldn't do this if I was broke. I couldn't be a blessing of you if I was broke. And most of y'all, you broke and you trying to bless somebody when you broke. You ain't that desperate for company. You can't be that desperate to have somebody at your house. And he keep eating at your house but going to stay at her house. I'm just trying to help somebody. She coming to get a plate from your house, but she's sleeping at his house. Ain't nothing wrong with getting the plate, boo, but you're gonna have to stay. You're gonna have to at least stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it in so you can understand. And so God is blessing you, but the little resources you got, you're giving them away. So what you're gonna have to learn how to do is you're gonna have to learn to bring people in your life.
You know, you got to pick certain things that motivate. The number one motivating thing for me, and I'm just being honest, was I was sick and tired of being poor. I was just exhausted. My mother was poor, my father was poor, my brothers and sisters were poor, all my friends were poor, all my relatives were poor. I lived in a poor neighborhood, we lived in a poor house. I was just like, wow, man, I watch TV. And I would see, like at Christmas time, my father would put us in the car and take us out to the suburbs to see the Christmas lights. And I would see these big houses, man, with lights all on them, and they had horseshoe driveways where you just pull in and go all the way around. That was amazing to me. You know, we would pull up in the driveway, got a back out. You know, I've been doing that. And I kept saying, I told my father, I said, Dad, I said, why don't we get one of these houses? He said, boy, I ain't got no money for this kind of house. He said, but if you work hard, keep going to church like your mama say, you can make some money, you can buy you one of these houses. That was it. My motivation was to buy a big house so I could put up Christmas lights and drive in the driveway. And I'm gonna tell you something. Every home I have, every house I've ever owned or built, you got to pull in one way and drive all the way around to come out there. I have never built, lived, or owned a home that did not have that driveway with gates on both sides. Never. That was the biggest motivating. So my advice is you have to find a dream that's so big that it overwhelms all of your fears and causes you to never give up. Now you're gonna think about quitting no matter what you do. I mean, I've thought about it many times, but I always just kept thinking about that house. And I've always dreamed of buying my mother and father a real house. And you know, and before they died, I was able to do all of that.
Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
On a mental level, what's self-awareness? Knowing what type of people I like to be with. Knowing who helps me grow and who drains me. Yeah. That's mental self-awareness. So self-awareness at every level, and then we go into the spiritual consciousness level. That's disconnecting from all these identities and understanding the identity that we are wired for generosity and we're wired to serve. And only in service can we be happy? And that's us on a consciousness level. That's the identity of consciousness. Like water is wet, the sun is heating and light. Consciousness is service. Like that's how it fits.
Why are we wired for that?
We're wired for that because all of us as consciousness have been designed, and we see it since like even kids. Like I was giving this example of this beautiful, and you may have seen it. It went viral on Instagram. It was this little girl, probably about 2 years old, watching a cartoon, and she takes a handkerchief, and the cartoon character's crying, and she goes up to the television and she tries to wipe it up, right? And it's incredible because this girl's 2 years old and she thinks this cartoon character animal's crying, and she gets a real tissue and tries to wipe it on the TV. Obviously, it doesn't work. And there's another one that I saw with this statue of this rabbit, and there's like 4 rabbits and one rabbit's like falling off the end, and this little boy is trying to push the rabbit up, but it's a stone rabbit, it's just a statue, but he's trying to help it back up. So we see, and there was a great article in Wired about this, about how we're wired for generosity. Our brain is happier in service. This whole world is almost a school, an education system to make us realize that one truth. And we see that when we're serving, when we're doing that, we feel genuine happiness. But when we're trying to gain and greed and power and strength, we even feel empty as it slips through our fingers. So the why is because that allows us to connect to our deepest self, the happiest self that we have. And modern studies have shown that. So Michael Norton at Cambridge University, he did a study where they gave people $5, $10, $20 to spend on themselves. Have you seen this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then they spent $5, $10, $20 on others. So people spent $5, $10, $20 on makeup, Starbucks, and the normal stuff, right? That was the three makeup, Starbucks, and then something else, I can't remember. And then people who spent on other people, they also bought the same stuff. Starbucks was still in there, and they're buying all this stuff. What they found is that when people self-assess their happiness before and after, without knowing about this A/B test, people who spent the money on themselves didn't feel any happier or any less happier. But the people that spent on others felt 10 to 20% happier. And then he went and tried this out. This was a college in the United States. They then went and did it in Africa. They did it all over the world. And the stats and the pattern showed the same. Wow. That we're wired for generosity. We're wired to serve, to make us realize that that's our real nature. That's our greatest self-awareness.
You could be rich, man, but you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man. Somebody taught this to me a long time ago. He said, Steve, in order to get to the life of your dreams, you're gonna have to learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you hear people say all the time, I don't wanna do nothing that I'm not comfortable with, this person's in trouble. Because whatever your comfort zone is, if you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. If your comfort zone is this big and you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. In order to succeed in life, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. But I want to tell you something about yourself. All of you are equipped to live outside of your comfort zone. See, a lot of people are afraid to jump. A lot of people are afraid to take chances. A lot of people are afraid to put things up for risk. And you shouldn't be. Now, you can be afraid, but you should learn how to go ahead anyhow. See, because let me show you something about yourself. For all the bad days you've ever had, for every day that you thought you wasn't gonna get through, for every period in your life you did not see no way you could come out on the other side. Your track record for surviving them bad days is 100%. You have survived every single one of them. Your track record for surviving bad days, y'all, is 100%. And that's pretty good. You can't name one bad day you ain't got through. I have a life of convenience now. But in order to get the life of convenience, you got to have a very uncomfortable life. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Stop trying to do everything the short way. Stop trying to figure out the easy way. You got to get messed up sometimes. You got to get dirty. You got to get your feelings hurt. You got to get disappointed. You got to get told no. You're going to ask somebody for some money. He going to tell you no. But show me something that has grown into something beautiful that didn't have no dirt on it. You take a seed and throw it on the concrete. Don't put no dirt on it and watch what happens. See, you get tripped out because you got dirt on you. But you need dirt on you to develop. Because dirt ain't just dirt. Dirt is fertilizer. Dirt is nutrients. Dirt gives you the strength for your seed to push through. See, you got to have dirt on you to push through something. Everything you see that's beautiful starts out as a seed, but that seed got to get dirt on it. See, you get mad when haters come your way. You get mad because you get a setback. You get mad because you get thrown off course. You get mad because you get a detour. That's just dirt. You get mad because they talking about you. That's dirt. You get mad because you lost your mama. That's dirt. I want you to think about all them bad moments you had that looked like you wasn't gonna make it. And then I want you to ask yourself, well, why did I make it? Just change your mindset. If you change your attitude, you change your altitude.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.
Well, same advice I give to my kids, man. If I could get them to understand the importance of their 20s. Because, man, you know what I did? I just blew my 20s. I ended up spending all of my 30s fixing what I messed up in my 30s. Now, I spent all of my 40s doing what I could have been doing in my 30s. I looked up, man, I had let too much time slip away. If you could get young people to get their foot on the gas pedal in their 20s, because right now they think going out is everything. And I keep telling them, man, you're gonna outgrow that in a minute. Because, you know, like at this age, it's when somebody says, hey, we're gonna go out to a club tonight. Go out to a club? Are you kidding me? It don't make no sense to you now, because you're over that. But it takes a minute for them to understand it, man. It's sad. I wish they'd get it, but I wasn't clubbing in my 20s. I didn't know how to make a vision board. I didn't know how to. What really changed my life, man, was I got in Amway when I was about 24. I got in Amway, and that changed my life, man, because the first time ever, they introduced me to self-help books. And I read 2 books that changed my life. It was The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale and The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I read them books and it changed my life. But it also made me remember what my mother had taught me, because she was a Sunday school teacher, because all self-help books are Bible-based. It's nothing, everything comes from the Bible. All them self-help books, that's Proverbs. That's all it is. It's the book of wisdom and understanding. If you could read that, it'd change your life too. But sometimes you need, regular books where you can relate to it differently. But it's all comes from the Bible. It's like a great book is The Secret, but if you read The Secret, it's all Bible verse. I mean, it's just based on the Bible. You can't think of nothing new how to tell a person to succeed without the Bible. You can't. It doesn't work that way, so. A couple of books changed my life, man. But The Magic of Thinking Big was huge. It just taught me one simple principle. It don't cost no more energy to think big than it does small. You can say Volkswagen and you can say Rolls Royce with the same amount of effort. You ain't got to grunt to say Rolls Royce. So if the Bible is true, which it says a man is as he thinketh, if you think poor thoughts, you got to be poor. The moment you change that thought into wealth or riches, you start the process to becoming wealthy or rich. It's not a magic trick. It's really how it works. People complicate it. You got to do this and you got to do that. But Bible's pretty plain. They ain't got no loopholes in it. Really don't. It's just real simple. It say what it say.
This is money. This is what people want so much of, right? And this is why so many people, how many of you know people that got it and then lost it all? They get it. Ed was taking money. He'd get $8 an hour or whatever, and somebody pays him $100, and somebody pays him $800, and somebody pays him $8,000, and a guy wins a lottery. Whatever. You get the money. Now what? Number one rule: get the money. Everybody with me? Get the money. Everybody's like, can I get it? See, you got that conflict going right now. You got that conflict. Skinny man's like, shit, it's close. It's close. Should I get it? Should I get it? I think I should get it because of what he called me earlier. I should get it. Okay, so check it out. See, here's the deal, right? You guys think this is mine, so you don't take it from me. You're like, I can't take it, it's his. This is not my money. Whose money is this? Could be yours. Okay, this money, before it was my money, it was somebody else's. Everybody agree with that? I'm gonna make this so simple. I spent 17 years and went in debt trying to understand money and knew nothing when I was done. Okay, I'm just gonna make this simple for you. This money, it's got Ben Franklin on it. Who was Ben? I thought he was a president. The guy's not even, all I know for sure is I cannot trust him. I look at him, I'm like, not trustworthy. Does he look trustworthy to you? Okay, come on, fix your hair. Okay, so this month, this piece of paper right here, I'm like, whose was this before I had it? Because if you can go back to what happened before this happened and understand where it's coming from and tie it together with the commerce and circulation, okay, if you want money, you must meet people. It's not the bank that has this money. It's not the institution or a company. There's a person, okay? Right now, I have this money, but this is not my money. This is somebody else's money that I get to hold on to for a moment. You understand? Okay? So number one rule of money. How do I get it? Is that simple enough? Get it, earn it. But once you get it, now what? How do I keep it? How do I keep it? Well, you can't invest it immediately. You got to keep it, and then you got to make some decisions. This is where most people get hung up right now. Most people get it and they keep it. You got a job. Anybody can get a job. You can get a job. I'm going to get $50 an hour or $25 an hour or $15 an hour. But the government's not going to tell you, okay, once you get it, now what? What's your move? What's your play? I'm going to tell you what happens with people that get lazy. People that get lazy are losing. They're losing in life. If I keep losing over and over and over again, I lose. I try something, I lose again. I try something, I lose again. Then me and him hang out, and we both losing. And then the three of us are hanging out, and all three of us are losing. And the next thing I look up, I'm like, you know what? I just don't have any motivation for life. Man, I'm losing too much. Winning's underrated. Y'all need to win. Okay? So when I get money and then I lose the money, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this money. You understand? When I get it and then somebody rips me off of it, I'm like, I'd just rather not have it. How many heard this before? Money won't make you happy. How many heard it before? Money won't make you happy. That's from somebody that failed with money. Okay? Okay, you want to write this down. The next time you hear somebody say money won't make you happy, it's somebody that failed with money.
Mr. Schultz said to me that he thought it was a worthy goal to become financially independent for three major reasons. First, with money no longer a time-consuming consideration, I could then begin devoting heavy time to all the other dimensions of my life. Second, he suggested I become financially independent because it would tremendously increase my ability to help others, only from positions of strength, including financial strength. Can we help someone else? Finally, and most important, he said, I believe it is worthwhile to become financially independent for the sake of developing the person you must become to achieve that goal. What a major secret he taught me. Set a goal to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve it. Reaching the goal is the lesser value. The primary value lies in the person you become by reaching it. You see, it's not the $1 million that's most important. It's what you must do and become in order to be a millionaire. We're all aware that many people feel that we must be careful of focusing on money or affluence or abundance. That in it or in the pursuit of it, there is danger. We often hear quoted from the Bible, the love of money is the root of all evil. And I do agree. If you make money your love, and you pursue affluence to the exclusion of, or at the expense of, other values of life, you have lost, not won. However, let us consider this question. If you could do better, should you? That's not a bad question. In the time allotted to labor, in the time given to economics, care for family, success, achievement, productivity, the creation of value, the development of skills and creativity, if you could do better, should you? I think that one of the greatest satisfactions of living life to the fullest is doing the best you can with whatever you have. Doing less than your best has ways of eroding the psyche. We seem to be creatures of enterprise. Surely it is the reason for the seasons. The soil and the sun and the rain and the seed all say, "What can you do with us?" The seasons say, "Do you have the genius to make something unique of us?" Life says, "Here's the raw material. What splendid things can you produce from all there is?" So, go for high productivity, the full employment of your genius, the full development of your potential in all areas of your life, including earning money. That is the essence of life. Truly sophisticated people know it isn't the amount that counts. It's doing all that you can with all you've got that counts.
See, the reason you wake up every day is because God ain't through with you yet. If God was through with you, you wouldn't wake up no more. But he keeps waking you up because he still has something for you that you've yet to receive. But you have to start living your life in expectation. You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. It is the law of attraction. It is real. It is nothing fake about it. The Bible says a man is as he thinketh. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you. If you live your life in despair, that's what happens to you. If you say all men are dogs, you're going to meet every last one of them. I'll never be rich, you won't. You won't. The moment you change that frequency, different things come back to you. I'm telling you this how it works. It's just the principles of success. You just got to adhere to them because the law of attraction works. If you walk in the house, this is how it works. Whatever you put out, that's what comes in. You pick up your remote and you press the on button, you point it at the TV, guess what happens? So the law of attraction works. Whatever you emit from your remote control, the greatest remote control ever invented was your mind. Whatever you emit from that signal, that's what returns to you. That's how it works, man. This ain't no magic trick. If you want more people to smile at you, all you got to do is smile at more people. That's it. You want more people to shake your hand? All you got to do is stick your hand out in front of more people. Everybody ain't going to shake your hand, but I bet you a whole lot more people will. Because you attract that. You think rich, you be rich. You think poor, your poor. You ever heard a woman say, all men are dogs? Guess what? She finna meet all of them. You gonna meet every last one of them. You ain't even gonna meet a good dude. Because that's what you attracted. So when I wake up in the morning, I only have great thoughts. I'm gonna have a great day. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate the day. I expect great things to happen to me. Even when something negative happens, all I gotta do is wait it out. Behind every moment of adversity, there's a lesson and a blessing. All you got to do is ride it out. It's gonna be tomorrow. And as long as you wake up, whatever happened yesterday, that's in the past. I'm telling you, man, all you got to do is think. If you think different, you be different. That's the trick. I ain't smarter than nobody in here. I just think a little bit different. I think big thoughts. I want to ask God for little stuff. I don't even waste his time with little stuff. I want to ask God for no couple $100. Lord, I need another zero on my check. I don't even ask for zeros. I ask for commas. I want another comma. But now, if you want a zero, just ask for the zero. That's just a thought, y'all. That's just a thought.
Now, I want you to repeat after me, please. We got to recondition our minds first. Let us say together, good things are supposed to happen to me. Yeah, write that down. I want you to say that to yourself every day. See, we live in a world where we believe that bad things are supposed to happen to us. I remember at a point in my life, Bishop, when things are going good for me, and I said, this is too good to be true. Something is bound to happen. Guess what? It did. Thou shalt decree a thing that shall be established unto you and shall accomplish that whereunto it has been sent. Watch your words. Watch what you say about yourself, about your affairs. Be conscious of that on a daily basis. Why? Because your words are powerful. In the beginning was the Word. Life and death is in the tongue. Watch what you say. Never say I'm broke. Say I'm overcoming a cash flow problem. Claim what you want, not what you don't want. So affirm good things are supposed to happen to me, and begin to believe that. Begin to expect that. Now, I was talking to my oldest son, Calvin. We were going for a walk. And I said, Calvin, do you want to be successful? He said, yes, sir, Dad. It's okay. He kept on walking. Then I stopped and I looked him in the eyes. This is my namesake, my junior. I said, Calvin, we're looking at each other eye to eye now. Do you expect to be successful? Given the fact that you are a single parent of 2 kids, given the fact that you decided not to go to college to further your education, given the fact that you are very talented, but you're behind on your dreams and your bills, do you expect, based upon your performance, based upon what you produce at this point in time in your life, do you expect to be successful? And Calvin got quiet. Because see, if you ask most people at the Manpower Conference, do you want to be successful? Do you want to live a life of productivity? Do you want to live a life of contribution? Do you want to be a better father? Do you want to have your own business? Are there dreams you want? Everybody will say yes. But see, want shows up in conversation. Expectation shows up in behavior.
You have to understand, you are a magnet. Like attracts like. Whatever you are, that's what you draw to you. If you're negative, you're going to draw negativity. You're positive, you draw positive. You're a kind person, more people are kind to you. So you're like a magnet, you know, and you got to understand something about like attracts like. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. This is so true. You've got to grab this. You got to create dream boards. You got to put the new car up on your mirror. Put the weight you want to be on the refrigerator. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's the law of attraction. That's what you bring to you. The next principle, ask, believe, receive. So many people overlook this very simple quality. You don't have to figure it out. That's what freezes people. When you're trying to figure out your life all the way to the end, when you can't figure it out, it freezes you from trying it because you go, oh, well, I can't figure that out. Oh, I can't go over there because I don't know how. You don't have to know how. You have to ask, believe, and receive. That's as simple as it gets, folks. It's very, very true. I really want you to understand that. Now, science says, show me and I'll believe. Faith says, believe and I'll show you. There is a difference. Next, very important, gratitude is a powerful process. The only way to move to the next level is you must show gratitude for where you are. If you show gratitude, it gets you to where you want to be quicker. Very true. This is the last one. You know, at my mom's funeral, I learned something that was the most important lesson I've ever learned. I was sitting there, I was totally distraught. My mama was gone. You couldn't talk to me that week. It was the worst week of my life. The minister said something. He told us to think of only the good things that she's done. So me and my brothers were sitting there, and we started laughing about some of the stuff my mom had done. And we started smiling. And then the minister said something that has registered with me. Joy and depression cannot reside in the same space.